Obstetric Anaesthesia, completing your outpatient records. In this guide, we will go over how to find your patient in outpatient, so whether this is your obstetric outpatient clinic or the obstetric preoperative assessment clinics, as well as how to go about documenting the findings and outcomes of that clinic. You will need to be with an ambulatory organizer. There is another video which talks about how to set this up. We're going to start by looking at the obstetric preoperative assessment clinic, which is on a Friday. So let's find Friday's date. And here we have a list of patients that are currently booked on for the pre-op clinic. You will see the time of their appointment, the duration booked for their patient, as well as details about the patient themselves. Once your patient arrives and you're ready to document your consultation, you can access the patient records in two ways. One, click on the patient's name, or alternatively, right-click on anywhere on the row and click on Doctor's View. I will use this demo patient for this purpose. For the obstetric preoperative assessment clinic, you will document like you would when you do a pre-op assessment for any inpatient. For this, you will use the pre-anesthesia workflow M-page. Once this loads, you will be presented with details about the patient. The way an M-page works is a collection of various components and various details of the patient shown in one place so that you're not having to go looking for them in different places. If they have a presenting complaint recorded, it will appear here. Any orders that's been placed, so for example, if they've got a cesarean booked and so on, this will appear here. If they have had an anaesthetic in the past, there will be links under anaesthetic record. If they've had any vitals done recently, that'll appear here. You can change the filter. So for example, if they're not an inpatient, then you may not see this for a while. Any allergies will be recorded. If you find an allergy which is not recorded, you can do so by clicking on the plus icon and completing it from there. Anaesthetic or surgical history and risk assessments. These are all captured from when patients are admitted. Any ongoing problem list. Then the documents folder will list all the various documents that are kept within the patient. These may be documents of consultations from the obstetricians. These can be the midwifery reviews, telephone triage. All the letters and notes that are created for the patient will be kept in this area. You can change the filter by looking at how far in history you would like to go, so 6 months, 12 months, so on. You can also change the filter by choosing which type of notes that you would like to see. If you'd like to access any of these documents, simply click on it and it will open that document. If you would like to scroll through the various documents a patient has, you can enable continuous scrolling. And this will combine all the notes in one seamless manner, so you can simply scroll through and have a look at all the notes in a chronological fashion. Once you have reviewed that, you can go on to histories. Under medications, you will see any outpatient medications, and if they're inpatient, then you'll see those on here as well. If they've had bloods done, that will appear under labs, so you can look back to see if they've had any in the past. As this is the demo patient, it's blank at the moment, but your patient, you will be able to see them through here. You can filter through these as well. If you do an airway review, if you click on the airway review, you'll be presented with a power form, which allows you to document the airway assessment. Then we come to the anaesthetic consent and summary. So these text boxes allow you to free text write your assessment like you would on the anaesthetic chart that's currently done. There is no limit to how much you can write on here. Once you have documented, you are able to format your text using the options at the top here. You can also use what's called an auto text. There will be another video that goes through the different types of auto text, but specifically for obstetric anesthesia, there is the OAA auto text, so which is equal symbol, OAA for simplicity, and click enter. And what this will do is it will populate this auto text within this window. The top part is auto-populated from the patient records, so it has pulled through that they're gravida 1 para naught. And if they have any more of these details that's entered, it will pull through. Some of these details are lacking because the demo patient. You're able to then document using this. So, for example, proposed procedure, say for cesarean section, any previous cesarean sections, indications, and so on. Once you have done that, to ensure that this is not lost, you can click Save. What this will do is, even if you leave this patient and then come back to this patient later, this information that's recorded will remain here for you. It's only visible for you. No one else will be able to see it until you finalize that record. You can do the same for airway assessment. These fields are not mandatory, so you can document as much as you want as necessary. If you feel that you need to add more details about the airway, you can do so. Any other anesthetic assessment that you would like to document would go here. If you'd like to place an order for blood tests, for example, you would do this from this section, the new order entry. So I am going to order a full blood count. Once you have placed that order, it will then appear in the orders for signature basket. When you're ready, make sure to go in there, fill in any of the mandatory fields and sign that order before it is accepted by the system. Once you have done all this, you will need to create a pre-anesthesia note. The link to this can be found in the left-hand menu. So if you scroll to the bottom, you will see pre-anesthesia assessment. What this will do is it will collate all the information that you have documented so far. Once you sign that document, it remains within the patient records. And as we saw earlier, when you were looking at the documentation, this will also appear in that section. So let's click on pre-anesthesia assessment. And as you can see, it pulls through information from what you have already put in, as well as from the system. So for example, the top section is more for non-obstetric population, so we can leave that. That comes from the main pre-op assessment clinics. Then you can see it's pulled through the problem list, the history. Because we didn't fill in the airway assessment, it hasn't pulled that through. And as we go down, in the consent summary section, we pulled in this auto text, which is currently there as well. At this stage, you can still make changes to the document before it is signed. So, for example, if there is an error made and I would like to make that change, you can do so, like so. Or you can go ahead and make any changes as you wish. And once you're happy with all this, then you click on Sign and Submit. In this window, you're able to customize how the document will appear in the document library. So it automatically populated the type as pre-anesthesia note. You can change the title if you choose. So for example, you can add onto here like so, and the date and time will be automatically populated. Once you're happy with those, click on Sign. Now if you click on Menu and go to Documentation, you will notice that the pre-anesthesia assessment is currently at the top. If you are in an outpatient setting, not a pre-op assessment clinic, and you like to document your consultation, you can do so using the Outpatient M page. This is available for the anaesthetists as well. You will not see this as default. Click on the plus icon at the end, and you'll see here where it says Outpatient. If you click on that, so now the Outpatient tab will also be included in your M page.